Alright, we got all this painted. We found a PPG paint. I'll show it, I'll mention it in the pinned comments or something like that, but this stuff here is better than Rust-Oleum. It's not a Rust-Oleum. Now, we use Rust-Oleum primer. Did that. We've got these little sticky pads here. When you slam that hood sometimes, it likes to come down and scratch. You can see a nick right there, but it likes to slam on it. So we put those right where it does it so it won't scratch it up. Had to put a battery in it. I talk about these Wally World batteries. That one's $69. 600 cranking amps and group 75, 1-year battery. What I like about Walmart, if you don't have your receipt, you just show your driver's license. They know when it was sold. So I had to do that. That AC Delco battery, less than 3 years old, crapped out on me. So I went back to that. Alright, we got the grill done. That looks really good. Turned out nice. And I figured out, I had some videos where I was complaining about these Chevy badges. I'm going to make a separate video how I did that. But I'm just going to show you what it turned out look. Now it looks like the original color. Took me a little time to find what I thought was close. So I'm going to, like I said, I'll do a separate video and show that. But that worked out real good. I've got 2 more I got to do now. So that turned out real good. So I think that's it. And I like the hood mat's in good shape. It's not falling apart. Got a little bit of tear in there. I may take me some glue, some contact adhesive and spray that in there, glue that back up in place. It'd be easy enough to pull down and spray it, and glue it back in. So I got to have a can of that anyway. I got some other stuff to do when I reupholster the headliner in the Cheyenne. And I've got one of these ordered. Couldn't find them for the longest time. These things get dirty and discolored. I bought some extras. There's a guy I watched who does restores old British cars. He mentioned some acid, but he didn't use the common name. He must have been a scientist or something, or was trying to be. So I've got to leave a comment, see if he'll answer it. And makes them look brand new. I went ahead, Dorman's got them for like 21 bucks. So I'm going to put a Dorman on it because I like that to look new. Now your windshield wiper reservoir, that doesn't get dirty over there. It looks fine, but this does. Coolant and whatnot. So I've got that one. That should be here tomorrow. I got the switches today and a couple other things that I ordered this week. So yeah, I'm going to replace that. Like I said, paint, the booster, and I forgot about the ECM. It's still, I think, yeah, it still has a service number. If I can't peel that, oh, I may be able to do. I'm going to peel that off. Yeah, there we go. I'm going to peel it off. I'm going to wire brush this thing and clean my contacts in here and put dialect to grease on my boots. I'm going to go ahead and wire wheel this. This is just oxidation. These things get hot. I'm going to use some high temperature matte black paint. They're easy enough to pull out. But if you ever have to replace your ECM, you got to give them the service number. So I'm going to put that in the glove box. It's like this belt routing sticker. I got to glue that back on. That thing just came off and we didn't want it to blow away, so we got to put that back on it. Now on my Cheyenne video, I had mentioned I replaced the ECM. I didn't really clarify it enough. It has a 5.0 in it, and I think the ECM, because the 5.0s are hard to find these in the junkyard. You'd be very hard pressed to find a 5.0 ECM. And I think what they did is they put a 5.7 ECM on it. That's why it was running rich. So I kind of didn't explain why I replaced that. So that was the dealio on that. This one's fine. It just got to be cleaned up. So yeah, if you ever replace these. Now the guy I had, the one I replaced didn't have a service number on it, and it may have, but I wasn't going to give him the service number because I didn't know if that was from a 5.7. So he went ahead and flashed it with the right one for the 5.0 on the 96. So this one, I'll put that back on there, or I'll put it in the owner's manual and tell him where it's at, so he'll know where it's at. Yeah, that's what I'll do. I'm not going to glue that back on there. I'll just make sure he knows where it's at, put it in a little Ziploc bag and put it in the glove box and point it out, whoever buys it, so they'll know. So I'm trying to be up front about everything on this. And then, well, I think I mentioned it before, but right underneath here, let me see if I can get close. Yeah, you see that little pulley right there? That's that Gates 38008 pulley. And you have to get you a bolt and a spacer from your idler there. It takes the same one. That's if your compressor locks up. It's a lot easier just to throw a non-AC belt on it. So you just order a non-AC belt. We carry both in case it gets thrown off. So I got to tell him about that because I'm not giving them all my belts. Whoever buys it's going to have to buy their own belts. So they can probably replace that one, use it as a spare, and then put a new one on it and just buy the non-AC belt. So, all right, here's another thing you have to do these old OBSs. You got this seal right here. See how that never stays put. Come up, it's not stuck there. So we're going to do that to both doors and glue it on real good, because this never stays stuck on there. That little groove is just getting lazy, but I'll fix that later. Alright, I got the door panel back on. Everything looks copacetic. I misplaced my little trim piece here. I got to find that. If I can't, I'll just pull one off of my other ones that's got the same color and just order me some new ones. But I don't know where that went. But I'll be on to these real soon. I'm gonna do it when my son gets home so I can show him how to do it. He likes to learn things. So oh, something else. This is what I dread doing. We got my old dog blanket bed back here. This thing here does not stay latched. So we got to take the seat out. We've got to pull all the upholstery off the bottom and the back, and then pull this foam back to get to it, because it's buried about 2-3 inches underneath this foam. I found one at a junkyard. The last one they had, it came out of a Suburban, but they take the same seats. So I'm gonna clean it, the one I've got, and lubricate it real well. So I'm gonna do that last. I'm dreading it. Alright, one more thing. We did get the tailgate latch replaced. That's another one from Amazon. They're 25 bucks. Real good, nice and heavy. You can't tell them from OEM. So that, and then down here on that trailer hitch, we're going to sand that off, prime it, and paint it where it looks a little bit better. I don't like that rust down there. It just kind of distracts from it. Little touches, like I said, to make sure nobody could pick this truck apart, because they're not going to pick it apart. There's going to be nothing to pick apart on this truck. So then I'm not going to screw around when I sell this thing with people kicking tires and giving me lowball offers, because I'm asking for a reasonable price for as good as it is, with the service records, how well we've taken care of it, all that stuff. So I ain't gonna put up with it. Yeah, I hate when you try to sell something on Facebook Marketplace or what's the Craigslist. Get these emails, is it available? And I'm gonna put in the description, if you're reading this, it's available. Don't bug me with that. If you got questions or something like that, but don't bug me with that, because I'm not going to answer it. So, alright, another little part here. Alright, a couple more little things. We got a little bitty spot. It's going to require some touch-up paint. And GM sells you the exact color. It's like $23. It ain't cheap, but I'm going to give it to the guy that buys it. But we got a little place for you to touch up. Nobody won't notice it, but I still like to touch it up. Also, too, tailgate cables. The insulation on these like to crack off, and then the cables rust and they start getting real stiff. So these are like $11.95 on Amazon, and I'm going to replace the other two sets on my white truck and my green Silverado. But these were surprisingly well built, so we're going to put those on there too. That's just, they're just got, these things wear out. That's common. They're cheap enough. Why not? Alright, one more little thing. I had a actuator go out in the Gold truck. It was one on the driver's side. You have one in the center, and the worst one is the one all the way on the right that does your fresh air vent. The center one, there's a plate that's held on by 7mm screws, and the head is pointed away from you, and it's really hard to get. And I didn't want just a regular wrench, be turning that thing ever so little and spin forever. So I got one with a, I don't have a set. I hardly ever use ratcheting box ends, but I'm gonna probably buy me some. I'm gonna go to Harbor Freight and get some of them Pittsburgh one, but I needed this right now, so I ordered it. So if I have to replace it, and you guys that replace those center actuators, you know exactly what plate I'm talking about. I've seen people drill holes, take their dash off, dash panels, drill holes through the plastic, through that metal plate, when all you have to do is just get up underneath there. You know, it's going to be like 1/8 of a turn, but you'll be able to get it out without having to drill holes and stuff in it. So I bought this tool specifically for that. And there might be some other 7mm you might not be able to get a ratchet on. I got a 1/4" drive, but I don't have any short stubby sockets for it. I may buy me a set of those if they make them for 1/4". But that was just another little thing. This is not specific to OBS's, but it can be. Alright, just because you buy a one owner, now this lady didn't do any work on herself. I had to pull this door panel off, place this. The wire for the mirror was pulled through here, and it came down, it was getting in the way, and it plugs into a wire. Well, it's supposed to go up behind here, come up here and plug in. That was missing, so I was able to get one from a junkyard. This plastic here does keep down on wind noise. I was able to pull one off a Suburban, same door, except this is perforated here so you can pull that piece of plastic out. My Suburban didn't have these little vents in here, so I hate it when people just do it as cheap as they can. On these, just get you a rivet gun and some rivets, and just pot rivet that back in. It's just easier to do it that way. It holds just like the factory. This one had a bad servo in it here, kicking my cable from a lock, so this is easy to get to. You have to drill out these 2 rivets, and then there's an L bracket on it, and then you just pull it out. You have to kind of finagle it right up in here, but you can get that and then disconnect it. So I had a used one, and it was an aftermarket. I don't like aftermarket parts, so I had a good used one I got. I tested it before I even put it in, so I'd rather have a good used OEM than a new aftermarket. So somebody, I don't know what they were doing inside this door, but it wasn't nice. I replaced all my pins, get those cheap on Amazon. And on these doors, what you need to do is pop this thing loose right here, get it up where you can take the wires off of it, and that way you don't have to try to hold the door panel in place and try to plug them in. That's kind of a pain in the butt, and you take a chance of sticking your speaker with one of those pins. So I do that. Also, I pop these out. Be real careful popping them out, but you'll pry on the red end, and there's a couple clips on it. So take a trim tool, pop it out real gentle, and that end right there plugs in this wire. So that's the easy way to do it. I don't like having to connect stuff while it's in the door. Now these are easy to do. Now the speaker has got a tab on it, so it'll slide in, and then the back has got these 2. So take your trim tool, put it up underneath there, be real gentle with it. You know, these old vehicles here, everything likes to break. That was brittle, and I tried to pull the plug out. I got the clip loose, and it just fell apart, so I had to order a new one. And test those before you install your door. Just plug it in the pigtail, turn the key on, and test it, so I know everything works right. So it's something I like about these OBS's. They got that tweeter in there for you, and that makes a big difference. And those are easy to replace. If you ever want to upgrade it, you can get some nice tweeters, and it's just a twist lock, and they have direct replacements that upgrade your tweeters. Then down there you can just put you a 2-way speaker. You don't have to have a tweeter in it, so it doesn't need to be a 3-way. These speakers work fine. They don't look pretty, but they work just fine. So I'm not upgrading those. I've got some I'm upgrading my other vehicles. But that's just a few tips. But I hate lazy people that work on these things. It was just stupid. All right, y'all. Have a good one.